Good morning. And today we're gonna talk about how to never ever forget a promise you have made on Slack ever again. My name is Martin Hagen. I am a productivity geek. I really love everything that is related to productivity and that universe. That's what I really like. And I've been using GTD for a long time, I think for the last 10, 12, 15 years, something like that. Essentially, my whole grown adult life, working life. I just wished I had knew about GTD already in the university, but I didn't. So one of my biggest hurdles with GTD is to capture, which is the first step of the process of the methodology. I have so easy to to commit to something or think about to do something, but it's easy for me to just forget and lose that open loop and don't get it into my trusted system. And Slack was one of these really big places of where I kind of dropped open loops. And a while back, I got a tip from someone, I don't really remember who it was anymore, but to use some automation software to actually quickly and easily get those commitments from Slack into my trusted system. So today I'm going to show you how I did that and how I set that up. And I'm going to show you three different softwares, and I'm probably going to mention a bunch of more softwares than the ones I show you. And please note, I do not have any affiliation with any of these softwares. It's just, this is how I happen to solve my problem, and this is the softwares I happen to use. You can likely choose or switch them out for various different softwares that you like and prefer to work with. So actually, to start off with, I would just quickly want to show you the end result. And to do that, we are jumping in here to Slack. So this is my work Slack, really. So I'm showing my own channel here, but just to show you how it works. Let's say that I'm in a conversation with a colleague and I'm saying, hey, yes, I will definitely do that for you. And then I'm sending that off. Now this goes into my private channels. It's only me that will see it, but if I'm doing this commitment now, I should really record this into my trusted system if I don't do it immediately. And on Slack, there is quite often I don't do things immediately when they show up. So what I do then is I just go over here and star the message. And that could actually be enough for me to just often or easily to go into Slack and review my starred messages. But then that's another channel that I need to review on a daily or weekly basis. So I don't want to do that. So instead of that, I set up this automation. So if everything now worked as I hoped it did, it's always a little bit like this when you do live demos of things. So these things should now show up in my OmniFocus. So if I switch over to OmniFocus, you will see my inbox here. So it says Slack, hi, yes, I will definitely do that for you. So that captured that sentence that I was writing in Slack, and now I can deal with it. I can process it and organize it and put it into the right place and so on, and make sure I get this done. So this is then ensuring me for me not to forget this. And now I can simply go into Slack again and unstar this if I want to, or I could just leave it starred if I want to. There would not be more messages created. So how did I do this? It's actually pretty straightforward. There is a service on the internets that is called Zapier. And I do not have any affiliation whatsoever with Zapier, but I have used Zapier in the past for a few different things, and it can be really helpful. There is other automation services like this. I think there is one called IFFT something, if then that, I think it stands for, that you can do similar things with. And you can also build these with other tools like Node-RED or stuff like that if you want to. But this is a really quick and easy way to actually do that. And up here you can see I have actually right now 2 recipes, it's called, in or SAPs actually, they called recipes in the past. One for OmniFocus, and that was actually the one I just demoed for you. And I also had one that I used in the past when I was a Nosby user. You can easily get a Zapier account. They have a free tier one. I think you get 2 or 3 SAPs you can set up, and you can automate 100 or 1,000 tasks a month or week. So it's limited quite a lot, but for this small and easy automation, it's super easy to set up. So to create a SAP, it's super easy. What you do is you click on this button up here called Make SAP. And the first thing I always try to do is to give it a name. And this can then be, I call it stream, and then start Slack message to OmniFocus inbox. That's pretty clear what it's doing, right? And then the next step is to choose, okay, where is this automation starting? So this automation is starting in Slack. And you can see here I have a bunch of different applications that I have used in the past. But if you don't find it there, you can simply just write Slack here, and you will find the application. And there is a lot of different applications in Zapier that you can use to do your automations. So the world is open here for you to do a lot of interesting and cool things. So I've chosen the app. The next step is for me to go in and choose what trigger. So what should cause this integration or automation to fire? And that is when I star a message in Slack. So I choose that, and then I go on to continue. And then I need to go and decide what Slack account is it that this is gonna work from. And you can actually set up multiple accounts in here. And if you see, I already have 2 set up. But you can also very easily go in and say, I want to add a new account. And you just click that one. And then you will receive a little pop-up screen where you do a normal login to Slack. And then you will get that account here. But I will just choose this one for now. And then I continue. And now I've actually set up everything I need to set up to receive the trigger, the thing that turns on or enables this automation. So now I can actually test this one. So if I test, it's actually connecting to my Slack account and make sure that it works. So it's happy. You see that I got a green little star here up on the first one. Then the next step is, what should I do when this happens? And that is also as easy to do. And today I'm gonna use OmniFocus, but there is a lot of other applications in here that you can use to do this. So for example, if you're using Remember the Milk, you also have that in here. You have Things in here if you're a Things user. And if you just write to do, you see you also have Todoist, Microsoft To Do, Toddledo. I used Toddledo a long time ago. That was quite nice back in the day, actually. So there is quite a lot of these tools that you can use. But if your tool is not in the list, like Nosby is not in the list, for example. But Nosby has an email drop, so you can send an email into Nosby and that will create a task in your inbox. Then you can use the Gmail node to do that. I will show you that in a little bit more detail when I've set this SAP up. So the first thing then is to choose the application. I'm going to choose OmniFocus. And as very similar to as I set up the trigger, I now need to set up what the action is. So here I can choose what that is, and there's not too much to choose from. So it's to create the task. And then I continue. And again, now I need to choose what OmniFocus account that this should work against. So in here, I can then choose one, but you can also just click this, add a new account, and then you will need to choose your OmniSync user or OmniSync email drop address there. So you need to use OmniSync for this to work. I'm just going to choose this instead of setting this all up for you. And then the next thing I need to do is to customize the task that is going to be created. So what I usually like to do is to write Slack in the beginning here, because then I know that this actually came from Slack. And then I can choose different pieces of the inbound message here. And usually I then just take the text. And you can see that's actually a sample from a Slack. So this is a message that I've sent, that I sent to a colleague. Sure, I will send, you will receive an invite. And I start that, and then that went into my inbox, of course. But down here, that's going to be the notes section of the task that is being created. So that's essentially the body of the email that it's going to create. And in here, I prefer to actually add in the permalink, because then if I when I'm reviewing my inbox and I totally don't understand what this is about, I can just click on this permalink. I will get into Slack in the web interface this time, but I will continue be able to see the whole context around this discussion. So that's really, really good. And other thing that can be good to have in here is who did I have this conversation with? And then I just add the username there, who said this message. So if it was me that said it, it's going to be my name, but if it's a colleague, it's going to be the colleague's name. And sometimes it's also helpful to say, where did I have this? In the way we usually work is that we have a lot of channels. So we have a channel per project. And then I also add the channel name. So if that is applicable, I will see the channel here as well. So in the notes section, I will get the permalink, the username, and the channel where this conversation happened. So now I can continue. And this is then, you can see what will happen here really. So title, bloody bloody. And now I can test and review. And done editing. So now I've actually done everything I need to set this automation up. The only thing I need to do now is actually to turn it on and enable it, and then it will work. I will not do that right now because I already have one SAP that is doing exactly this, that is on. But if I now go into OmniFocus, I believe there will be a test Slack in here now, because when I did this, it tested the automation. So let me see here. If I go into OmniFocus there. So here you see, this is the demo I did before. I can now delete that. I don't need it anymore. And this is the one that happened when I set up the automation and I clicked this test and review button. Then this task was actually sent through. So I can remove that too. But this then shows you that I can easily connect my Slack account or my Slack system with my OmniFocus inbox. I also mentioned before that in Zapier you can connect this using a normal or an email connector, and that I used for Nosby. And just to show you how that is set up, it's really, really easy. So I mean, it's the same approach you have when you set up the Zapier automation. You need to choose the application, what happens, you need to choose an account, and then you also need to take some test data here just to test it out when you do this automation. And then you set up your email app, and then you, of course, need to tie it to your Google account in this case, so that you can, or allowed to send emails. Of course, they are protecting that. And then you can send email too. And I'm not going to go in there because then you will see my public Nosby email, and I don't want to send that out to everyone. But you set up that step, and then you can actually from Slack send out an email into your Nosby account or any other task manager if you're using that instead. This is really, really handy. For me, this has really become a game changer because, as I said in the beginning, I have so easy to drop and lose open loops or commitments that I do to other people, or when I'm in discussions with my team and ask people in my team to do things for me or in the projects. I can easily flag them and they will get into OmniFocus, and I can follow up with them in due time. So in this way, I will never forget a commitment that I made or someone made to me over Slack, and that is super, super, super handy. So that was what I wanted to show you today. I hope this has been helpful and giving you some ideas what you can do. And of course, you can use Zapier and these tools for a lot of other automations as well. So until next time, have a good day. Cheers. Bye bye.